Hey everyone, welcome to this video, and we might be looking at the best on-camera monitor ever made. Now, I don't really review that many products. If you look back on my YouTube channel, you're going to see it's very sparingly to do with reviews, and that's because I only take stuff that I need. But after using this monitor, I'm pretty certain I can safe to say this is going to be the last monitor review on this channel, because this monitor does everything I need it to and more. Now, it would be impossible to go over a full review of this monitor because there is so many specifications to cover. Not only the body, but the software, the high bright screen with laminated anti-reflective coating. There's too much to go over, so we're just going to go over my favorite parts of this monitor. I suggest going over to the Accsoon website to find out more about this monitor because there's a lot to learn. The monitor has a power delivery in via USB, so I can power the monitor via USB and also send power out to low voltage devices. At the top we can see the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz antennas for the transmitting and receiving of video signals. Down the side we can see the 3G SDI in and out. On the left side we can see a number of ports. We got the microphone port, a HDMI in, some vents for cooling, a headphone jack, and a HDMI out, which can be set to multiple resolutions. We have the SD card, which allows you to do internal recording of up to 4K 60. We have a USB 3.0 for connecting MHL devices or control, and a DC jack. The monitor itself is running Android, and you can imagine that this is going to affect the boot time, but I'm really impressed with how fast this monitor boots. Comparing it to the Portkeys LH7P running MovNorm, the Portkeys is extremely fast, but we can see that the Accsoon M7 is no slouch either. Not that far behind, and then we're ready to go. The good thing about the Accsoon is that it remembers any monitoring assist features you had from your last session. So if you had your waveforms turned on or zebras or something like that, it would remember them the next time you turn the monitor on, which is fantastic. The UI is absolutely amazing. Just tapping the top bar here brings up all of our control settings, and there's so much to go over here. So we're only going to go over a few bits. We can see that the mode, we can turn this monitor to a receiver or transmitter. We've got the input HDMI and output resolution. Every monitor is professionally calibrated at the factory, and it's done individually with its own calibrated LUT. And as mentioned before, we can record directly to the monitor's internal storage or SD card or even an SSD. The file is only 8-bit, but we can change the maximum bit rate and encoder, stuff like that. You can also live stream directly from this monitor to different applications such as Facebook, YouTube, or you can input different URL settings. You have the tool list, and every single monitoring feature you can think of is here. One of the most important features is the camera control, so let's have a look at that now. So before we get started on the camera control, we need to go into our Sony menu and turn off USB power supply. If we don't turn this off, the camera control won't work. After that, we've got to plug in a good quality USB-C to USB-C cable and press OK on the prompt, and you can see it automatically detects my Sony camera. These are the buttons on the side where we control the camera. So here I can toggle record off and on. I can do touch to focus. And we can also control the aperture, ISO and shutter speed. Now my shutter speed is grayed out here because I'm using shutter angle. So use shutter control, the normal shutter control, if you want to control your shutter. And once you've done that, you can then change your ISO, shutter speed, aperture, and you can see how smooth it is. Very responsive, very smooth, no mispresses here, very nice fluid system. And we can also change the color temperature as well using the presets, or we can change the white balance manually. All of our focus tools are highly adaptable and customizable. Not only can we put them wherever we want on the screen, we can actually resize them as well. This is one of the beautiful things about having an Android system on a tablet. Not only can you use HDMI and SDI to get a proper signal transmission, but you can also get the benefits of a multi-point touchscreen. This is the kind of breakthrough we needed to see in monitors, not just the standard run-of-the-mill stuff. Being an Android tablet allows us to install third-party apps. Now the main app you're going to see is the Accsoon C app. When you boot up the monitor, this is the first screen that you're going to see, which is Accsoon C. And if you're using SDI or HDMI, it's a very capable system. It's really nice and color accurate, absolutely beautiful, well done. Loading other applications from other manufacturers, we can do so much more. Here I'm just connecting a standard USB-C cable to my drone controller and into the monitor. Then the monitor automatically detects the app and then we're ready to go using that big crispy monitor as a display. I no longer need to pull out my phone or carry an extra tablet, I can just use my on-camera monitor. This is fantastic for reducing the amount of gear you have to carry. I only get a few quick drone shots here and there, so this is something that's going to work perfectly for me. And then we have apps like the Sony Monitor and Control app. And you all know this app. It's a wonderful app that works on tablets and smartphones. So let's see how this works with Sony cameras. So at the moment, what you're seeing here is a feed from the FX30, and this is connected via HDMI. And now we're going to use the Monitor and Control app to switch over to the FX3. So the FX3 is recording us right now using this camera here. So let's connect to it. And now we are connected to the FX3 that's recording right now. So now I can monitor the FX30 from here, but also monitor the FX3 from up here. So I can see two camera setups at once. But we can go even further than this, because if I want to go back to the FX30, then I can just switch in between them. So FX30 there, and then we can just switch back to the FX3. Absolutely amazing. There's also another trick that we can do, and we can actually get rid of the HDMI when using the Monitor and Control app. So let's take off the HDMI from the FX30. And then we're just going to connect this straight USB cable, just like we did with the drone, straight from the camera into the monitor. Now in the Monitor and Control app, we're going to come up to the top here and we're going to connect. And now we're going to choose the connection method, USB, allow, and we're going to connect. And now we have the FX30 connected via USB. And you can see it's just as good as working with HDMI. Absolutely fantastic. So there's so much we can do with this monitor. It's absolutely blowing my mind, you know, how much versatility there is, but not just that, how good the image looks. Now onto the onboard recording. This monitor has onboard recording as well, but it is only 8-bit. But it can still be used for different things, like maybe uploading to social media, or even in my case, using it on the Accsoon Elite. Now this camera that we made only records in RAW, so you can imagine that it fills up a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte drive quite easily. But the fact that I can now record just H.264 or H.265 in 4K up to 60 frames per second on this monitor will allow me to actually use this camera for a lot more than what we initially bargained for. Now the funny thing is, the intro and what you're watching right now was actually shot on the monitor. So what you're seeing right now is connected to the FX3 and we're recording internally to the monitor via SD card. And I think it looks absolutely fine. It looks okay for a lot of things. And that's another beautiful thing this monitor is capable of. So now we've reached the end of the video, and as I said, it's a good idea for you to go over to the Accsoon website and check out the M7 or the M7 Pro, because they are absolutely amazing. And there were so many things that I didn't cover in this video but are worthy to go and have a look at. The monitor is $799, but I really think that this is the only monitor you'll need to buy because there's so many things that it can do. In fact, I would recommend this monitor to everybody watching. Take care guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.